Well, hello, Maverick traders. Market roundup time. Joe with you here. It's Wednesday, the 28th of May. You guys know how this works. Let's get into the market action. I've got my 2 cents on what I see out there when it comes to the meaningful news of the day. We're going to take a look at things technically, and if I've got some trades to share, you know I will do it.
All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. This video has been released to the public after a delay required by our compliance department. Maverick traders receive this market recap immediately, along with real-time trading support and resources. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that backs professional stock and options traders with firm capital. Our traders keep 70 to 80% of the profits they generate. If you're ready to become a professional trader, click the apply link in the video description below. Let's break down what happened in the markets today.
As we move into the market analysis, you'll see we had a little bit of a pullback after a pretty good surge to the upside, once again, based on news. So let's just jump straight into it. The markets retraced today after yesterday's surge on a tariff update. There was a pretty good move to the upside. We had some push-pull afterwards, and today's pullback was to be expected, kind of like, okay, geez, where do we go now? No real change in the overall trend with today's action. It actually kind of put itself back up and within a range that we've been talking about. We'll get there in a second. So let's take a look at how we finished. About 0.5%. The Russell's a little bit more than that, with over 1%, oil down a little bit, and gold had a little bit of a bounce. But the advanced decline line, 74% declining, 22% advancing, so it was a general pullback overall, 68% still above the 50-day moving average. So what did today's action do for us? Not a lot. Let's just jump straight into it. I've got this area that you guys have known very well, so let me go ahead and just draw that box again. But it looked like, hey, a little bit of a move to the downside, and we expected a pullback. I thought it was actually get probably back to this 5,700. Actually didn't. Not a lot of volume, I should say. So a little bit of volume associated with it. We're still within this range, kind of a glass half full. We're not really pushing above highs. We could. We'll see what happens over the next little bit. We do have NVIDIA coming out here tonight. But we're back up within this range, so nothing has really changed between yesterday and today. Moving over the Qs, you'll see that it's pretty much the same idea. In fact, this one actually went a little bit higher. It actually is back up against the higher resistance, but it's news driven. We'll see what happens. If it can sustain itself here, boy, even if it pulls back to where it was before, folks, we're still not gaining or losing anything. Sentiment is still bullish. We're still at that kind of a +2 area. It's just this reaction that becomes pretty tough to play day to day. But if you stick to the overall trends and the overall patterns, you should be pretty safe. As we move over to the heat map, you can see it was pretty much generalized. It was a pullback across everything, which was to be expected. So I'm not going to look any deeper than, hey, we had a pretty good, we had an announcement. The markets reacted as such. Once again, we are susceptible to sentiment and what sentiment reacts to and doesn't react to. Overall sell across the board. There are some green lights there, and it probably could be specific to the company and news involved, but I'm not going to look deeper than that. Let's get to our outlook. I'm going to keep it the same. We've got a little bit of a turn to the slope here on the 50. I'm going to keep it as a yellow, but we're still at the +1 for the week. Still a +2 when it comes to the longer term. It's just we haven't really done anything, and we pulled back. We bounced off of a low, just slightly above that 20-day moving average. So I didn't want to get anybody too excited by going to a +2, +3. I just don't know if we've got the momentum there yet. It's not an opinion, folks. I'm just seriously following the price action. So let's take a look at some trades that we could look at when it comes to bulls and bears. Let's lean on what has been weak and what has been strong. So first, let's start with the strong side here. This is Roku. Very nice. One of my favorite patterns here. Ascending triangle pattern, high base breakout. Both. It's a combination of both. So here is your range bound, high base kind of a breakout. And then look at this nice ascending triangle pattern that has come off of, since it's kind of set a quote unquote bottom. Now, I don't think this thing is going to go from where it's at 73 up to its all-time highs. However, it's a nice move. It's a nice surge to the upside. I'd like to see a little bit more volume followed with this, but something diagonalized, something vertical, just shows emergence into something that's been strong. Let's move over to our bears, and I'm just going to go straight over to energy. Here's CMS setting lower highs. Now, this actually did have a little bit of an interesting kind of a head and shoulders pattern, if you will, but it did struggle with this support level. You can see it flirted here didn't quite make it any higher than this previous high, and it's kind of rolled over. Moving averages look good, coming off of a lower high. This is kind of what I'm focusing on. Now, to tell you the truth, folks, this is a little early for me, but I wanted to share it with you guys because if this does start to break lower, I'd be more than comfortable targeting it down here around the 65.80. Now, it's nothing that you've not heard before, but you could play something kind of a diagonal. You don't have to go very aggressive on these, but they have been underperforming. The problem is when they bounce pretty hard. So I've seen a lot of volatility in both directions, but what is weak kind of stays weak, and what's strong kind of stays strong. So I'm really not going to change things from what I've been talking about over the last few weeks. So overall, folks, retracement day, I'm just going to call it that. It's today after a big surge. Pay attention to support levels, resistance levels, not just on the overall markets, but in specific stocks you're looking at or sectors. The markets continue to react to announcements and updates and tweets and all that stuff. So be mindful of the volatility impact it has on positions. It's the reaction to the sentiment that we have to deal with. And once again, folks, it doesn't matter about your stance on your outlook. It all has to do with where the money's going, because money never really lies. So follow price action. Thursday, we have jobless claims, GDP, Q1, pending home sales coming out. Friday, we got that PCE and consumer spending. Whatever you want to take from those numbers, the economic numbers, folks, have been strong, a lot stronger than I think anticipated. However, they will. What I want to focus more on is how sentiment reacts to those numbers. That's all that matters. So keep in mind that those will be coming up. NVIDIA, CRM, Agilent. I don't even know why I'm talking about the others, folks. It's NVIDIA, right? So we got trades, or I should say earnings out. Let me check it real quick, folks. NVIDIA looks like it's up about 6 points, about 4.9%. Looks like they beat their numbers, but they're a little leery on future numbers. So take that for what you will. It's kind of funny, folks, how much emphasis is put on specific companies. NVIDIA's been in the news and one of the darlings for a long, long time. So it's probably going to carry some weight with it. So far, looks like it's a glass half full. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. All right, guys, that's what I got for today. Thanks for joining me. We'll talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.